So I'm going to start out with that I am a criminal justice major, and I've actually seen this Stanford experiment a couple of times in psychology classes and in my criminal justice classes. And Zimbardo, they gave the guards ultimate power, which means they had power over absolutely anything. And it really showed that absolute power can absolutely corrupt somebody, especially with the things that they were doing. And in regards to the guards conforming, they weren't given any guidelines, they weren't given any instructions, they were just given a uniform and some reflecting sunglasses so you couldn't see their eye. And I believe that allowed them to kind of dehumanize themselves and step away from the role that they were playing as human beings and just be the guard. And that allowed them to do things that they would never have done before, at least that's what they say. And the prisoners, they stepped into their roles willingly. That was their selection for the experiment, and they didn't like what some of the guards were doing, so they tried to rebel a little bit, and the guards absolutely crushed them with all the power that they were given, and they really broke them. And one of the biggest fatal flaws, in my opinion, is that the researcher, experimenter, Zimbardo, was also the warden. The warden has control over the guards, tells them what to do, directs them what to do, says what they can and can't do. But Zimbardo is also the experimenter, and the experimenter is supposed to have absolutely no influence over what the experiment is right now. He can't directly influence it. So him being the warden means he couldn't tell the guards what to do. That means they had no guidance on what they were supposed to do or can't do. Zimbardo's conclusions about absolute power is really that, not his conclusions about absolute power, but his conclusions were that absolute power can absolutely corrupt. You fall into the state and you become outside of yourself. It didn't allow for a very good experiment. He, in fact, said that was one of the most unethical experiments ever. And this experiment was similar to the prison Abu Ghraib, in that everything was really similar, like the bags and having them walk and sexually not so sure about sexually humiliating them at Stanford, but at the other prison they were sexually humiliating them. But the big difference is, at Stanford they volunteered for this job. They didn't know that what they were going to be, a prisoner or a guard. And at the prison, these were military. They were given a job to do. There was a warden, not an experimenter, controlling everything, and somebody actually died. And I believe that's the biggest difference, is that these people are employed versus being voluntarily, randomly selected.